Hello, everyone. As you can see from this front page, this is my Fantasyland dorky wonderful life. This is the presentation that I had to do for personal finance, and we're just gonna run through it a little bit and see if you all enjoy what I have to offer. So, right off the bat, that picture is a funny story. That's off my YouTube channel, which I can point you guys to later if you want. But I'm sure not a lot of you really care. I don't promote it too much, but I am proud of it. Anyways, that picture is a thumbnail of a prank video that I did for a friend, and I just thought that face perfectly summed up who I am. The smirk, the eyes, just the sense of mischief, and a hint of tenderness, but you can tell that I'm up to no good with that, just that expression. So, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Griffin Hall, 17 years old, a junior by hopeful mathematical logic. And one thing that I love to do, more than all, is to create stories and content that hopefully bring people entertainment. I love making people laugh. But I also like scaring people. We'll get into that later. But I just love the entertainment world, which, as you can see from the audience picture next to this, I would love to be in front of an audience someday and do work, whether it be, presenting my works in a movie theater or on stage or something like that. I think that would be interesting. And as you can see, the woman in the very front there who has her head notched back, she's really enjoying herself. She might need medical attention. I kinda didn't really notice it until now, but she needs help. So my career. This one was hard to figure out actual details for. But I would love to be an internet personality, since that's where I see a lot of media going now, besides like streaming sites and whatever. TV and theater is honestly dying out. So YouTube and Twitch is honestly the best way to go. And that's what those two icons are on the right. At my base level, just starting off, would be ranging from about, well, actually not just starting off, but picking up steam to a good degree, having a small-ish to decent following, would give me roughly $30,000 to, 100,000. But whoa, don't do that. That was scary. But if I get to an even bigger status with what I do, which is possible, the money just kind of takes off from there. Alright, this is where you get to see Nerdy Griffin. This is the goofball side of me, and honestly, trying to pick my dream car was hard, but we'll get to that. So I finally picked the Chevy Impala, because it's been in a lot of different pop culture mediums. It's the car that the Winchester brothers drive from Supernatural, though don't lynch me, but I'm not a huge Supernatural fan. The reason why I chose it is because it is the base chassis for the 1989 Batmobile, and that is a movie I do love. And it's just a smooth looking car. It seems to run beautifully and has some longevity, because I mean that's an old-fashioned kind of made out of metal, build it yourself kind of car. But the troubling thing that had with narrowing down my choices, jokingly I just said, well, I want the Batmobile because that's a good car. And the friend that I was on a call with said, first off, that's not a real vehicle. Second of all, you're telling me you're gonna steal from Batman to get it. And I thought, alright, well, you're no fun, but you pose a point. So the next one that I thought of was the Ecto 1. Which for some... first let me explain what that is. The Ecto 1 is the famous car from Ghostbusters. And I thought to myself, isn't that a station wagon? Isn't that just like a really doofy kind of car? Turns out it's a Cadillac. Not remotely in the same vein as a station wagon. But I was still curious. I'm like, I don't necessarily want a Cadillac, I just want the Ecto 1, whereas, you know, Batmobile is just another tier, you know? And I thought, well, there's also the Ford Interceptor from Mad Max. That's Mad Max's car. I was like, that's a pretty good car too. But I don't think I'm gonna be going off-roading or, you know, having to survive a post-apocalyptic desert wasteland doing car fighting. So I was just sold. I guess maybe it's the color black. I love the sleek black color. So I looked it up and I was like, what make and model is the Batmobile? And it brought up something completely different. I can't remember what it was. But I was like, no, that's the Batmobile from 1966. That's Adam West's car. What's the 89 one? Because that's my favorite version of it. And it was, it didn't say what year it was, but it was the Chevrolet Impala. And I was just like, that's still a good car. And I actually heard of that car before. Well, I'm sold. So yes, basically I chose this car because it's a good car regardless. I've seen them before. My grandfather would probably know more about it than I do. But it's also the Batmobile. So there's your little trivia for that. Oh, that was a weird skip. Alright, I know you're laughing now. I can hear you on the other side of this video laughing at me. My perfect type of house, not exact house, but perfect type of house, would be a neat little suburban townhouse like 707 Meridian Avenue, South Pasadena, California. Not necessarily the location. Stop doing that. Not necessarily the location, but just the design and make of the house and whatever. And yes, it is indeed known to more people as the famous Haunted Myers house from John Carpenter's original horror movie, Halloween. You can't see it because I'm not recording it, but right behind me, over my left shoulder, is the original movie poster of Halloween, put in, you know, poster form and whatever, hung up on my wall. I absolutely love that movie. I love that franchise. I mean, I love horror movies in general. I've always loved horror movies, even since I was a little kid. But this one has always been my favorite. And as you can see, there's a little Michael standing in the front door with all his pumpkins and whatever. I think it'd just be awesome to have a house like that people would be like, that's a legendary, that's a landmark in pop culture history. And I'm just like, yeah, and I own it. Which I'm sure is really gonna scare people when Halloween comes around. You know, they see me in the full get-up participating in the best holiday ever. you know, scaring kids and whatever, and having a fun time around Halloween. Where would I live? I would love to live in Southern Ireland. When I was in 3rd grade, I think, I visited there once. We had enough money that I could go there with my aunt, who had been there already. It was absolutely beautiful. It was just, I loved it so much. It's just like how the pictures say and showed off. There is so much green and so much rural stuff going on in that area, and it's just so pretty, and everything is so natural. The people there are so nice. There's no trouble, really. My family is Irish, and it was kind of like returning to the homeland, you know? So, if I could take, if I could take the Myers house, that house, and put it somewhere in Southern Ireland, I probably would never go anywhere else. I would be in ecstasy. Where would I vacation, though? Okay, well, apparently Ireland's not good enough for people. So, one of the places that I would love to visit as sort of like a romantic setting, because I'm figuring, you know, if I have enough money that, you know, I can live in the Myers house, Ireland edition, being a performer and whatever, I would have a companion with me. I would have a romantic partner and whatever. So I thought it'd be nice if we went to Switzerland. I mean, it's, once again, anyone who's seen Willy Wonka, it's the chocolate capital of the world. But it also is home to one of my favorite musical bands, which you can see right here. You would probably know them best from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And you'll probably know the song when you hear it. But I just love their music entirely. I've listened to their other stuff, their other songs, and just absolutely fallen in love with the band. So if I got the chance maybe to see them somewhere, or gosh, even get like some kind of interview, I would probably faint. Go down. If I make millions, oh god. If I make millions of dollars, which, considering the career path I'm going and what I've done research in, it's possible? Maybe not entirely, but there's a chance. But if I make millions of dollars, not a single person's gonna know. I'm not gonna change. I'm still gonna, you know, I'm a sucker for the 20-piece McNuggets at McDonald's. I love my McCafe. I might hit Starbucks more. Finally learn what alien language they speak. But other than that, I really wouldn't tell anybody. Because once you tell people or really brag about it, you know, there's cousins that you don't even know you had come out of the woodwork, you know, wanting a favor or something. That's what killed MC Hammer's career. That's what made him bankrupt. So I would be really conservative with my money, but I still would be charitable. I would still support local businesses. I would still, you know, someone couldn't cover rent, someone's having a hard time, you know, with medical expenses that I know, I would do what I could to comp them, just because I feel like that's the right way to use that much money. But other than that, no one's really gonna figure out I'm rich or whatever, and I hope to keep that secret. Or jokingly, I said I would become a supervillain like $1 Million Man.
Yeah. That's the same man who once fought the WWE Championship.
Ted DiBiase over there. And just kind of go crazy with it. But that was more of a joke. I love wrestling. But if I'm honest with you, no one's gonna know that I'm a millionaire or more. But, you know, if someone got curious, I might ham it up for the sake of a production or something. Like, look, he's so happy with his money. He even has a belt that's just money. That's some good stuff for, that's some good stuff for a millionaire. My goal for this class is not learning how to get rich, not learning how to get all the stuff that I want. Quite practically, I want to understand how money works. And be able to sustain myself with the career that I have, or the career that I want, when I go and live on my own, or if I'm balancing stuff with college or whatever. I want to know how to support myself, and be able to still live a happy life where I can do what I want to do. I would like to think that I'm a hard worker, that I have a good ethic with it, so it might be hard at first, but evidently it might be easier for me to go that way if I really kind of bust my butt in the workforce to get where I can live that life. Much like my parents, my mom is definitely the practical one and definitely has the career path, whatever, set up. And she's worked at it for as long as I've been around, evidently more. She has a very steady income that, because of that, we're allowed to do things that other people can't. And I want to be able to live that life too, even if I really have to work for it. But part of that is being smart with your money. So you have to figure out, you know, budgets and whatever, and I'm kind of thrifty anyway. I would prefer to sit on my money and let it accumulate instead of buying everything outright, but sometimes it's not always the case. So this class and what it's teaching me will back me up a little bit more. Fun fact. Is this the end? It is. Once again, love my horror films. I grew up with them. My favorite one of all time is this cursed one. I love it, but it is the scariest movie I've ever seen, and it's a foreign film. I don't even say its name, because spooky things happen around my house when this is ever called out. A friend of mine who lives in Washington recently bought the movie poster for this, and ever since then she has had hauntings so bad. There are scenes in this movie that I still honestly will wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my god, I'm not sleeping. But the plot of this one is basically a American trade student goes to a ballet school, and these frightening accidents and murders start happening. And she discovers that perhaps the origin of what's going on is not of this world. It is a cult classic, because, I mean, it is a foreign film, it's Italian. But I don't think many people know about it, and it's one of those movies that's kind of polarizing, where either you love it for its imagery, its soundtrack, its whatever, or people hate it. It just doesn't get to them. They don't get it. Which is okay. I'm that way with some things too. Everybody is. But if you haven't seen this movie and like scary things, you're going to enjoy watching this movie. And I really wonder, out of the people who will see this and out of the people who want to check it out, I do wonder how many of you will have the same experience that I do. So, thank you very much for listening to me babble on about this wonderful life presentation thing. Oh, look at that. Look at that adorable face right there. It's a face a mother could love. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad to be in this class working alongside all of you. I hope you have a good rest of your semester, class, whatever, life, I don't know. And I hope to talk and see you all again soon.